Mitchell, you were previously the CEO of E-Trade back in the 90s. So how does the current market environment parallel some of the things that you felt back then?
Yeah. So listen, at the end of the day, what made E-Trade successful was the construct of democratization. And whether it was democratizing online banking, whether it was democratizing trading or online investing, and today it's just evolving in the same way in private markets.
Well, the dot-com boom ended in a bust. That bubble popped, like almost all bubbles do. What should investors and regulators be watching to make sure that it doesn't happen again and hurt a lot of investors?
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing is education. So when the dot-com bubble blew, what you really saw was there were a bunch of people who were very hyperactive traders. And in the end, a lot of them lost money. The ones who took the time to really educate themselves succeeded. And in the end, I think it's a responsibility of any online platform creating access for financial services to make sure they're also educating and informing.
But that was a long time ago. Now you run Willow Wealth. Can you talk about the differences in your business model at Willow Wealth versus some of the things that the online brokers are doing?
Yeah, happy to. So at the end of the day for Willow, we focus exclusively on access to private markets. And the idea was it's one of the last bastions of products that have been unavailable to retail consumers or to people who sit in sort of the emerging high net worth category. So for us, unlike trading or unlike the traditional products that you know of in the online brokerage space, most of them have not yet made access to private markets available to their retail consumers. And we saw this as an interesting opportunity to differentiate.
What are high net worth investors looking for right now? And how is it different from previous generations?
Yeah, so a couple of things. One is, I think you have investors today who are very focused on access and price points that make sense. So they want to be able to access products that have traditionally been unavailable. So in the days of E-Trade, what was that? Brokerage, right? Online trading. You called your broker. We created a process where you didn't have to do that. So today, what you're seeing is people want to build a diversified portfolio of both public and private. And they don't really have a diversification until they have private along with public. And ultimately, if you can provide that for them and give them the education and information, it empowers them to take control of their financial future.
Do you think to a certain extent we may have pushed too far when it comes to investing in private markets because there's less liquidity? It's a higher cost, and a lot of people are heading into these markets and don't know that.
Yeah, I agree. So one of the things at Willow is that we are singularly focused on that wealth segment, sort of thought of as emerging high net worth. So by definition, we only serve people who are either accredited investors or qualified purchasers. And they typically have a net worth of $500,000 or $600,000 after their home, all the way to 8, 9, 10 million. And they want access to private markets, and they should. They are sophisticated investors. They are being educated by us and through their own efforts to really understand the value of private markets.
Can you comment a little bit about the differences now versus all the individual stock trades back when you were with E-Trade? Nowadays, it doesn't seem like people are that interested in individual stocks. They go for ETFs. They don't even go for mutual funds anymore. Can you comment?
Sure, happy to. So I agree very much so. I mean, the world has evolved where what people are looking for is, I think, a more holistic portfolio, right? And in some ways, that's what ETFs were doing. They were creating a diversified portfolio with tax advantage structure. And so it made sense for people. I think people are looking for the same thing today. I don't think they necessarily want to buy and trade stocks as actively as they once did when we were first building E-Trade. Today, they really are focused on building a diversified portfolio of public and private market assets.
Okay, and then finally, what's the market going to look like in 10 years? I'm talking about the brokerage market, online, offline, wealth management. You were there at the nexus at the beginning of E-Trade when it was transforming that individual investors can get in. We're at a different juncture now where people even going to private markets? Where are we going to be in 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a confluence of both channel and product. And so what made E-Trade successful, what's making Willow Wealth successful is the idea of democratization. It's ultimately taking something that historically had been opaque and making it available in a digestible and understandable way. So it means education, as I've said. It also means price point. It also means access, $10,000, $15,000 check sizes, not 500,000 or $1 million. And so, as you have seen in financial services, as products become more fungible and commoditized, they're easier to be able to access. And I also think channels will start to evolve in a way in which, a lot of our customers, 60% of our customers also have advisors. And so it's the idea of really creating choice for the individual investor so that they can be served in the way they want to be served with access to the products they want.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on and talking about it.
My pleasure.